Woolgathering. My name is Kristen. I am a 30-something knitter and fiber artist here in New England, and I'm here to take you on a little cozy journey with me. Today, I am just popping in briefly this afternoon to record a little bit about some knitting progress that I've made. I think that, knitting is my main craft. And so I always want to incorporate, sorry about that. I always want to incorporate a little bit of kind of what's happening in my knitting space. But I was really hoping that this episode of Woolgathering would A, be a little bit shorter, so it's a little bit more bite-sized for you all, and B, be able to show you some of the quilting work that I'm doing, because I've been a bit on a quilting kick. And I have quilting group tomorrow, so I'm hoping that I'm going to have a couple blocks coming out of that. So I'm planning on maybe recording tomorrow, which is Sunday or Monday, and capturing some of those blocks for you all. But really quickly into knitting, it has been a real kind of finishing streak for me, which has been really, really lovely. I posted on Instagram a little bit ago, maybe like a week and a half ago at this point. I don't know when this episode is going to go out, but like from now, like a week and a half ago, I posted about this sock and kind of how long it took me to get a certain amount done. I think it was like right about here. It took me about like a day of like moderate knitting, and I thought that was really interesting. Just like look at like how long does it, I get this question all the time, how long does it take you to knit a sock? And so I did cast on and finish one sock. This is, it's really straightforward. It's kind of like my vanilla sock pattern. I feel like after you have been knitting socks for a while, you come up with your own sock pattern, kind of like the adjustments and the little bits here and there that make it fit your foot really well. For example, I cast on 66 stitches for the top ribbing, then I go up to 72 stitches for the leg. That gives me kind of like a little bit of a looser, a little bit of a slouchy. I don't like when it looks or feels tight around my leg. And then I go back down to 68 right before the heel. I do a heel flap and gusset. I do a pigeon eye, partridge eye? I think it's a partridge eye. Heel flap and gusset, which is an alternating slip stitch. And of course it's really hard to see on this black fabric, sorry. And then I get all the way back down to 68 on the foot. And then I Kitchener stitch somewhere between 14 and 16, depending on the sock, to round out that toe. So everybody's got their own little formula that they do, but this is just stockinette with a 1x1 rib. It's my favorite vanilla. So I finished this one, and you'll be so proud of me because I did start and am a good way into the second one. So the second one I'm doing a kind of same but different. It's just the exact opposite of the first. So I have the black at the top and then the marl. I'm really excited with these. I think they'll look really cute to wear with my Birks. They're not real Birks. There's like whatever the knockoff of the Boston Birk clogs are. But I'm really excited about how they'll look on, and I'm very much in need of wool socks. If you'll remember my first episode, so many of my wool socks need mending, and it'll surprise no one that mending has not happened. But that's okay. I've got a new pair really close to being off the stitches, off the needles, excuse me. I think one of the keys to success here, actually let's do two. One is I cast on the second one immediately. I had the yarn I needed. I had my needle with me so I could Kitchener close the first sock and then immediately go into casting on the second sock. I think I was waiting in a doctor's office, so what else was I gonna be doing? So that was really key. And then also I started a new book, and I love reading and knitting, but like stockinette socks are probably the only ones, stockinette socks and like a stockinette like sweater are the only patterns that I'm really comfy reading and knitting. So I have my Kindle. My phone is on it right now, but I have this little MagSafe tripod that I can kind of just stick my Kindle up on and read while I knit. And that has been huge lately. I'm reading Paladin's Grace by T. Kingfisher. And coincidentally enough, or not so coincidentally, one of the main characters knit socks all the time. It's actually recommended to me by a woman in my knitting group who I'm good friends with, who was like, you knit socks all the time, you should be reading this book. Also, it's very much in my kind of gothic fantasy. I love like a dark academia, and while it's not dark academia, it has that kind of essence to it. So I've been plugging away at this book and these socks at the same time, and have been so delighted by it. It's like a cozy up by the fire in the evening, kind of like set up my tea and my book and my knitting, and I just kind of like go at it because it's also like 4:15, 4:20. It is dark out here, so it's time for those indoor sports, and by sports I mean knitting. So that is one of my main projects that I've been working on lately. And then just yesterday I had this thought that, oh my gosh, I'm going to be the woman who shows up at her mother-in-law's house in Chicago without gloves again. And I can't be that person. I've been that person for 7 years now, and it shall not be me this year. So I had previously talked to you all about casting on a pair of mittens with my hand spun. And so because the hand spun somewhere between like a DK and worsted, they're knitting up so quickly. I'm using Purl Soho's, I think like everyday basic mitten. It's like a mitten, hand warmer, hat, like combo pattern all on one page. I will link it below so you can see it. And I would do recommend it. It's very simple, very straightforward. I didn't have to pay for a pattern, which I really loved because I was looking at a lot of mitten patterns and overwhelmed by choices and not really feeling like I wanted to buy more patterns right now because I have a lot of patterns in my library that I have not gotten to. Shocking. So here they are. This is just the first one. I cast this on yesterday, and I'm just about to cast off the top of the mitten. I'm knitting with worsted on 4mm. So they're size, I'm knitting the size small with some tweaks because I really am a size medium hand. But I didn't quite get gauge, so I'm just like fiddling a little bit, but it does fit really well. I'm really, really happy with it. I need to Kitchener close the top there, but I opted to do a folded cuff and a stockinette, and then there's a little glove. I'm so pleased. I have never knit mittens before, but I have always had this like deep desire to have just like a classic pair of like red mittens, and she's doing it for me. She's making me really happy. I am so pleased with this I was so pleased with this hand spun as yarn, just as like that being a finished product. It's I think it's Romney. I'm pretty sure it's Romney, and it's upcycled sari silk or recycled sari silk. So those little blips of color are the sari silk, and it really comes out in the mittens. You get all those little blips. I just think they're so darling. I'm very excited because I did cast it on yesterday, like I said, and I'm already almost done with the first mitten, which means that by Thanksgiving, this is Saturday and it is Thursday, we leave Wednesday night for Chicago, these will be done. I will have mittens for Thanksgiving. I will be able to go on whatever escapades we go on, and will not have to borrow my mother-in-law's mittens. As much as I know she does not mind lending me mittens, I just feel so unprepared sometimes, so I'm going to do it. One moment. So those are kind of my ongoing kind of what I'm focusing on now. I do still have a couple things that I'm going to turn my attention back to and be able to cast off very soon, because like I said, I'm in a bit of a cast off mood. And I'm just realizing right now that the other finished object I've been wearing so much I left it upstairs. So give me one moment. Okay, here she is. This is, let me stand up. It's got a nice cropped length to it. It's got lots of ease. I think I ended up with like, maybe like 20. I feel like 20 inches of ease, but I love her. She's the Champagne cardigan by Petite Knits. I do think there's a reason that Petite Knits is so popular. She has a very clear pattern, and I really love that. And it's very elegant, it's very clean. It's a double knit neckband, button band. I have these buttons that are they're from Spin Cycles store. And I looked recently, I don't think you can get them anymore, but they're just these little flat leather buttons. Stop looking at me, look at the buttons. Yeah, and they worked out really well. I ended up not going with those buttons that I got in Maine because I have another project that I think they're gonna fit better with. But anyway, so this is my biggest finished object, and I've shown it to you kind of as I've gone along here. It's West Coast Color, their 2019 clip, dyed with madder, which I did myself over last summer. And then I did knit, you can probably tell, I knit the sleeves really long. I did. I love a long sleeve. I love kind of like being able to like, you know, snuggle my hands away up in it. And I also like being able to roll my sleeves. I love the look of that. So I wear it a lot, like especially if I'm around the house doing things, I'll just roll up the sleeves. I think it gives it a really lived in, very styled look when you can do that. And I'm really happy with her. She's just really cozy. I do feel like I need to maybe steam block the raglan up here at where the raglan meets the button band. That's been like a little bit fiddly for me. I do find my cardigans, my sweaters, they'll like fit to my body over time. So sometimes when I have a little bit of a, is that folding in a weird way or collapsing in a weird way, oftentimes it'll go away in like a couple weeks of like good wear. So I'm not too fussed about that, but I will be steam blocking that section again, and maybe the section where it kind of rounds out. And I've been considering adding one more button. So I have a button my top button is this button, but I think I need one more button right there. So yeah, actually just now talking with you all, I've decided I'm absolutely going to add one more button, and I do have one more button, which is really great. But yeah, that's my Champagne cardigan. I don't have anything else knitting wise to show you right now. I am going to pop in a second half of this video to talk about quilting. But other than that, my life has been really delightful lately. I am hosting a few friends right now. It's the Yale-Harvard game as we speak. I'm not a big football person, so I am home, although you may hear in the background a different football game happening over at the high school behind us. But I sent my husband off with our friends, and they went to the game and they're having a great time, and we're gonna have them all over for dinner later, which will be really lovely. And I am about to bake gingerbread, so I'll put a little b-roll in of my gingerbread, because I think you'll remember I have this little bunting, like little bird bunting gingerbread cookie cutter, and I'm very excited to make them and decorate them. And I think I'm also gonna try this year gingerbread sticks dipped in dark chocolate, because that sounds so good. I saw someone doing it with It's like some sort of orange zest cookie, which I'm not a fan of the orange and dark chocolate together. So I am gonna try it with gingerbread. I will let you know how it goes. And then other life updates. I love this time of year. It's a little crisp outside. I get to wear my sweaters all the time. And I get to like cuddle by the fire. We don't have a real fire, but you've probably seen clips of it. I have like this little, almost like candelabra kind of situation in my fireplace, which gives us the feel of the fire. So I'm really enjoying this season. I'm really enjoying this post-wedding planning, actually getting to settle in kind of feeling, and it's been lovely. So more soon on quilting, and I think you're gonna be excited. I've got so many irons in the fire in quilting, and they're all so good right now. So more on that in a minute for you, in a couple days for me. Bye. I'm just here on the floor of my studio, putting together the finishing touches on a little quilting project that I had going on for my sisters. Hopefully by the time they're seeing this, if they watch it, because I don't think they actually watch my channel, these will have already reached them. But I have made some holiday advent calendars for them. These are quilt panels, or quilting cotton panels that I purchased from Fiddlehead Artisan Supply. I think I got these for like $8 a piece. They might be like 12 now, given tariffs and all that nonsense. This is a UK brand, and I've quilted them together so that they have these little pockets. When you get the panel, they explain how to make the pockets, and you can see I've started putting little goodies into the pockets for each day. And on the back I have these loops so they can be hung up on a wall. I've made one for myself as well. I'm gonna hang it up on a window. And it's just kind of like a really fun little treat. It was really easy, really affordable to make, and it feels kind of like something that is a little bit more meaningful, because I feel like handmade gifts have a little bit more sentimental value to them, and it feels like something that they'll use year after year. So right now I am just popping in. I have these Harney and Sons tea packets, as well as some gourmet hot chocolates to kind of add a little bit of, well, you know, maybe that one's not going to show up very well. This one's a gingerbread cookie, which is, sounds delicious. So I'm intermixing a handful of gourmet hot chocolates with Harney and Sons tea in each of these pockets, and it's very simple and very affordable, but kind of like a really nice little daily treat. My sisters and I don't live near each other, so it's also kind of a nice way to reach out and connect with them during the holiday season, despite kind of the distance between us. So I have two of these here because I have two sisters, and I'm just packing away, and I'm hoping, well, I know I will have to ship these out in the mail tomorrow morning on my way into work, and I'm really excited. If you're interested in these panels, probably not for this year because of the timing of these videos, but you never know. I'll drop a link below, but they're also, you know, just kind of like a nice thing to grab, and you could do it next year if you wanted to. Would be really fun with kids too. So yeah, that's my big finished quilting project for this month is these 3 advent calendar panels. And I'm also going to be making stockings for me and my husband. They're going to be just quilted stockings using a ribbon star pattern that I am kind of making myself. Oh, Kepler's decided to join in here. Hey, Kepler, you want to help? This is Kepler. I don't think he's made an appearance yet. He's a little bit shyer than Hubble. So yeah, I'm making some quilt stockings for my husband and I this year. We've kind of got a little bit of a mildew problem going on in the basement, and I'm worried that our stockings that we've used in past years probably not survived the mildew apocalypse that is happening down there. So new stockings coming, and I'll share those with you soon, probably during Vlogmas, which I'm excited to participate in this year. But I'll talk a little bit more about that later. See you all then. Hey again. As per usual, I did not make as much progress in quilting group as I thought that I would. I always have like really big plans for myself, like I'm gonna finish this, I'm gonna finish that, but it did not come to fruition, and that's okay. The video just before this, I just showed you the advent calendars I made for my sisters, and I shipped those out this morning, and they are going to arrive just on time on December 1st, which is excellent. And that is really the bulk of what I ended up doing in quilting group on Sunday, because I'm very slow at binding, and so I ended up just binding those like advent calendars. But I'm really pleased with how they turned out. I'm really pleased with like the little loops on the back that I attached, and the fact that the tea packets fit so perfectly in those pockets. So that was most of what I've accomplished in terms of quilting, but I wanted to show you what I have going on, because I did mention it in that video, and I am very excited about it. So the first thing is, I'm just trying to find the page in my notebook so I can show you the plan. There it is. Okay, so I did mention that I am making stockings for my husband and I, and so I'm going to be doing a ribbon star patch on the front of the stockings, and they'll have like little pom-poms and coordinating colors. So I have already cut out the pieces for these blocks, these 2 blocks, and unfortunately it's only 2 quilt blocks, so I do feel like when we get back from Thanksgiving, which we spent in Chicago, I will be able to kind of like just knock these out. So the one that I'm making for myself is going to be these 2 colors. This will be the main color of the stocking, and this will be the contrast color and also the lining of the stocking. And so the star part, the brown part here, the star part of the block will be in this brown gold speckled. I don't know if you can tell, but it's a little bit metallic. And then the main color is going to be this lovely green. Very much feeling earth tones lately, and so I'm leaned really hard into that with my color selection. And then for Matthew, I have these 2. They're obviously a bit more closer to each other, a little bit more. I think that maybe they were sold as a coordinating set in a similar fabric line. I don't remember the fabric line right now. They have that also a little bit of metallic to them, and this will be again the main color, and this will be the star portion of the block, and then the lining and the main color of the stocking. I'm very excited about these. I think they'll turn out really cute. We unfortunately had a little bit of a mildew issue in our basement, which is more encouragement to finish them because I worry that I'm going to pull out our old stockings and they are going to smell like mildew, but we shall see. In the meantime, I'm making our stockings and I'm very pleased. And then the other like bigger project that I have going on, which I plan to, after the stockings, be my main quilt project until I finish it, is some of the B-roll that you've seen now is me cutting out some pieces for this. It is a quilt that includes these lino cut blocks from Addie Best Studio. So I am a patron of Addie on Patreon, and so every month I get one of these linen patches with one of her lino cut designs. And this year they're all, every month is a different astrology sign, which is kind of fun. This one is so delightful. It's a little sheep with a ship inside of it. A ship sheep. Anyway, so I have a whole bunch of these, and I am very excited to actually start using them. I think that I'll need more than just this year's amount, because based on my calculations, I'm going to want to do, oh, this one's one of my favorites. I think that's the Pisces. I'm going to want to do about 15 blocks that center these patches, and so I'm going to need a little bit more than a year, but I definitely have 15 blocks in my collection. I've kind of been sitting on them for a while, and I am going to be making a double star quilt block with the lino cut patch in the middle, and then basically it's a sawtooth star within a sawtooth star. So I'll be making this with the lino cut patches, and I'll have 15 of these, and then I'll have 15 4x4 just basic checkered blocks, and these will alternate so that, yep, there we go. Looks a little bit like this. I've been playing around obviously here with colors and different options, but this being white and then a contrast color, and then these being also like a cream or white and a contrast color. So this is probably right now like the quilt of my dreams. The contrast colors are solid colors. Here's a couple of them. That patch, you'll see me, I've been cutting this kind of mauve color to be the star portion alongside this patch, but then I also have, just one moment. Yeah, okay, so these are the rest of the colors. I think I'm gonna add in a brown and a green in here as well from Stash, but I have a couple of these fat quarter packs from, it's the Home Fat Quarter Pack. It's 8 different solids, and it's from Fiddlehead Artisan Supply. I don't know if you've noticed, but they're one of my favorite places to get fabric from. And I really like the way that these complement the tones and colors that Addie tends to use with her linen patches. So this is going to be probably, I have a couple like sewing things my sisters want for Christmas, so it might not be actually sewn into the new year. The blocks will be cut, and so I can just kind of like hammer away at it. But I'm absolutely thrilled with this scheme I've planned up for those fabrics. So that is what we've got going on in quilting. I am always looking for more quilting advice and quilting inspiration. I'm still pretty new at it. I have a lovely quilting group that meets once a month, and they're so helpful. But especially when it comes to the actual quilting bit, I do have access to a long arm sewing machine, but I don't know a whole lot about using it, and it is probably the hardest part for me. Sometimes it's the color choosing, but a lot of the times it's like what design, what pattern to actually stitch on top of the quilt. So if you have any thoughts on choosing those, that would be really, really great. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have. I am hoping to post this up either just before Thanksgiving, which would be tomorrow, which is the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, or on Thanksgiving, so you will have something to keep you company when you have like a down moment from family, or you're digesting your food the next day, what have you. So if you're in the United States, I hope that you have a really lovely Thanksgiving holiday. And if you are not in the United States, I hope you still get to enjoy a bit of a nice weekend and a relaxing week wherever you are. I'll talk to you next time.